Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks. Somebody's having trouble putting this text to path. One of the problems is this wavy line, I'm pretty sure. And before I start doing that, this part of the ring, and he didn't ask for this, but I'm just going to put it out there. Get your smoothing tool, click on it till you see the nodes, and just kind of smooth that line out a little bit. It is a ring, and even that line. And see all the nodes? That's what I think is causing the problem with text to path. The less node you have, I'd go ahead and do the whole thing. Some of you can't, well, that's a wavy line right there. Um, if that's going to be a straight line, even that right there, that's going to cut out. So I would select this with my shape tool and select it. And I would just, well, let's delete all these nodes. And those aren't joined together, but I'm going to get that one. I'm going to shift select that one, and I'm going to go right click and turn it into a line, and then it's a straight line. And while I'm there, I'm going to go ahead and smooth this out. And it's not going to show up, but he's going to make something pretty nice out of it. So to put text to path on this line, now that we've smoothed it out, it'll really work. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually take the Smart Fill tool, and well, let me see what my nudge factor is. I'm using his. First of all, change your duplicate distance to 0, 0. You'll be a lot happier. I'm going to change let's see how big this thing is. Let's change our nudge factor to 6 inches. I'm going to take my Smart Fill tool and fill that in and then nudge it down. And then by doing that, I can actually just get rid of this totally, and it'll have I'm going to make it black just like that. I'm actually going to put it back, but then I'm going to make a duplicate and put it over here and make it red. Then I'm going to make my path. So what I'm going to do, because I have an extra one, I'm going to put a line like right here and right here. And I'm going to take my parallel dimension tool and see it deleted everything but my path because of the fact that I made these lines, made it stop. So now I'm going to get my wordage, make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to zoom in here, grab it, go text to path, and put it on that path. And then you really want it off that path a little bit. And I'm going to call that, you see that red line means it's in the center. Now it's still not kind of perfect, but it's really pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can still do with this. You could play around with this and see, what looks better to you. And I think the original, that looks pretty good there, but I would just go with that. Now, because we've nudged, I can go object, we'll select it all first, go up to object and break the text apart. Then you can just grab your text and I moved it up too far, but it's very easily just to take it and move it along your path. Now it's a little bit different. You can always just kind of tweak a little bit. And if you don't like that, there's other things we could do. It would have been better to do this on text to path, but if you get your shape tool, you can select that letter and actually move it out of the way a little bit. Of course, you'd want to change your nudge factor to like 0.01 now. Get your shape tool. As a matter of fact, just grab that one and just move it a little bit and kind of get it into line. This one, you're going to move up and down and over, down. This one, you're clicking on that part, and you can actually, spin this thing at that time. Once you have this, you can go up to object and go Control K and break the text apart. And then you could individually kind of tweak the letters if you wanted to. I think it looks pretty good though. He did a good job with the exception of if we go up here and select the whole thing and go to object and break the text apart. See that line's wavy? I mean, look at all the nodes. So another way to do it, instead of doing it the way I did, you could get the 3-point curve line and go from about right there to right there and then match that curve. It's not perfect. Let's click on it and turn it red. And then you can grab your shape tool and you can make it more perfect along with the path. Get it right on that money. And then I would actually, let's grab it and move it up so the wordage won't be on that line. And we'll just type out Victor, all caps. And he did send me the font. And then you want to make sure you're using we've already broken it apart, but it's 32 point. So we're going to take this and make it 32 points because you'd want them the same. So you'd want to do this pre-hand before 32. And then what I would do is change my nudge factor back to 6 or 3 and nudge this out of the way. And then grab your wordage, put it on top. I normally put it on top, text the path. Now, see the difference there? It's upside down and backwards. So the reason for that is when I drew this line, get your shape tool and click on that line, it's going the wrong direction. The arrows are going left or right to left. So I'm going to go right here and reverse the subpath. So now they're going left to right. Grab your text again, go up to path, text the path, and put it on that path. And really put it on that line and put it where that line is, got that red line. Select it all, go up to object, break the text apart. And then you could grab this and nudge it over. You know, it doesn't look real good. This is, you know, one of the ones you could kind of tweak a little bit, you know, just get that. It's when you do a text to path on a interior curve like this, instead of on the top of something, just like this right here, I would tweak this a little bit, you know, make it fit like right there. I wish I would have brought in the picture he's going to make with this because it's pretty cool. And then, you know, make sure like this line evidently is a marking line and this is a marking line you don't want, you know, you want some of this stuff to cut out. So I would make sure this is all a hairline, but on this, I would actually make it maybe a half a point and make it engraved. Same thing on this X or this cross. I would actually nudge it out of the way and then make it like a half a point, and it's just going to mark that. And if I was going to do it, I'd turn that black. You know, if I was going to engrave it, I don't really, not 100% sure. I can't get that part selected. Let's see if we can sneak in here and get it and then just make it black. It's going to engrave a little bit better, but all the other lines, I would mark them all red. That way you'll know they're a hairline and a cut line. And this needs to be red and make sure, see, that's a half a point. You must draw in half a point. So just make sure everything, and you know, this ring is so much bigger. It is maybe supposed to be because it's the male ring versus the female ring. But anyway, I hope that helped him a little bit. Thank you for watching.